Hey, 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 it's so nice to see everyone again virtually. You're on Music and Chat with moi, Shueh-li Ong, and it's a good morning from me to you. And I'm in sunny Singapore, as you can see. Yes, through the drapes, there is sun after all. Please say hi in the live chat and let us know where you're tuning in from. And don't be backward and coming forward. If you want to tell us your name, where you're currently watching us from, viewing us from, put that all in the live chat, please. I'm just going to make sure I have got our live chat up, and I do indeed, and there's plenty of you, and I am sure you're all friends of our good friend Philip Nelson. He's a likable chappy, so we want to support him. But, so, all right, without further ado, let's launch into this music and chat with our dear friend Philip Nelson. It is, just to let you know, 9:30 a.m. in Singapore. Let us know what time it is where you are. I believe Philip Nelson is probably 7:30 p.m. where he is in Central Time. So here we go. Let's welcome our friend Philip. Hi, Philip.
Shueh-li, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course, it's always a pleasure for us to see your smiling face. You're one of our best friends to me and to music and chat here. So, speaking of chat, we got a lot of chatter happening, and the chat we want to talk about is of your new baby, your newly birthed baby, Axicab. And let me do a little spiel before I ask you my first question. The last time we had a chat with you was with Bob Burden as well, and you did talk about being a fan of comic books as a child, and as an adult you're a serious comic book collector and the owner of a bookstore as well. And in my humble opinion, it's like having a slice of childhood in your own backyard. Lucky you. And even stranger than fiction, I thought I'd do a little creative writing here. Even stranger than fiction is that you have taken the chilling step of creating your own series, Axicab.
Yes, it's been a long time in the making. So, yeah, so do you want me to just give the spiel? Do you want me to just give the pitch, or should we
Yeah,
save it?
yeah, give the spiel, but I also want to know, I'm curious, what genres you were a fan of as a child, how many of these got woven into Axicab, and then, of course, your spiel, please.
Okay, well, so I'm a lifelong comic book geek, okay? So I've read comic books since I was a kid. I started my first comic book store when I was 15 years old in the local mall in North Louisiana. So I've just been a comic fan forever. And I also loved the campy 80s horror movies. And, because in the 80s, they were over the top. They didn't take themselves too seriously. And, modern horror is too realistic, in my opinion. You see some of these new horror movies, and it actually is, humans are more horrible than monsters. And so they're more believable. But like in the 80s, Jason and Friday the 13th made you scared to go to summer camp as a kid. Freddy Krueger made you scared to go to sleep. Chucky and Child's Play made you scared of your sister's dolls. And even movies like When a Stranger Calls made you scared to babysit. So I was like, what can I make people scared of? And I decided cabs would be a good one. So I created this idea about maybe 10 or 15 years ago. And, on a previous episode of your show, we talked about a good longtime friend of mine, Ron Thornton, who is one of the fathers of visual effects on television and did Babylon 5 and Star Trek Voyager. And in fact, Lee Stringer, who's been on the show as a guest, worked with Ron. So I was telling Ron about this idea for Axicab, and he was like, Philip, this needs to be a movie. This will be hilarious and weird and fun. And, when Ron passed away, I was like, maybe it'll never happen. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do a comic book. And and let's get this idea out to the world. And so it really is. It's kind of a step back in time to the 80s style of horror where things are a little over the top, not truly believable, but you can watch it and then, internally you're like, maybe it could happen, Like
did you
Jason was killed like 30 times in Friday the 13th, and he just kept coming
yeah.
back.
I was gonna say, to me, Philip Nelson is a kind, gentle-hearted kind of guy. Do you have to kind of step outside this person that you are, and then embody these stories in any way to come up with these kind of horror style?
I can honestly say that I have never embodied an insane cab driver who kills people. I really
I'm
don't.
just curious.
To me, it's about being silly and fun and kind of an escape. And I love the old grindhouse horror movies. They just didn't take themselves too seriously, but they were fun. And you left the movie and you're like, whoa, that was really a fun roller coaster ride. And that's what I wanted to do with Axicab.
Cool. At this point, before my next question, which is probably a picture, Philip sent us several pictures, artwork, as a matter of fact, from the first issue and etc. But I want to say hello to several people who have chimed in the live chat. And again, I know majority of them are Philip Nelson's friends and fans. Lucky man you are. But the first one is my friend, Sam. So Sam says...
in the house.
Yeah, Sam has already bought a t-shirt from Nalco Comics, so those of you who haven't got a t-shirt, you know where to go. And Sam says, I need to buy a signed number 1.
Well, and Sam is the most patient person on the earth. And, since he's in Australia, isn't he?
Yes, he
And
is.
so it only took me about 3 months to get him the shirt. And he was so nice and patient, and I gotta give Sam a shout out too.
Thanks, Philip Nelson. The next one goes by the name Leverman Peter 399. He goes Axicab. So
well, I do know who that is, and that guy's a heavy hitter. He is actually the guy who does all the videos for the magician Chris Angel.
Oh, Peter Lieberman.
Yeah, Peter
I get
Leverman.
it now.
Yeah, Peter's been a longtime friend, and thanks to Peter for logging in, and he's going to be
Peter.
a heckler in the chat.
Hi, Peter. I'm sorry I tried to modify your name by making too much of an effort to presume I know what your name is, but thanks for joining us. The other next person, IR Termite. Howdy, Phil and Shueh-li Ong, he says.
Well, Dale, I think that's Dale Bracey. Dale was at your album launch.
I remember
at
Dale.
Comics.
Yeah, I do remember Dale.
My friends are coming out in force tonight.
Yes. Okay, I got Kelly, of course. Hi, Kelly.
Also known as Cat.
He says, so we have some Vegas humans here.
Yes, he was representing Vegas.
Hi, Kelly. Long time no see. And we got to get the next one by Guitar Man 172,000.
I don't know. You know what? I don't know that handle. So he can tell him. Oh, Aaron Jones is here too. So it's nice to have a lot of friends showing up tonight on a Saturday night to support us.
Yeah, here's Aaron. Told you I'd come heckle, she says.
Yeah.
Who else have we got? We've got, hey there, says Science Fiction Official.
Sci Fiction, that's a guy named Owen Cotter. Owen runs a very influential science fiction site with hundreds of thousands of followers. And he covers all the big Comic-Cons, and, a guy I've known for a while. And it's exciting to have him on here as well.
Yeah. There you go. Philip Nelson, you feel love.
I do feel love. I feel some good love tonight.
And we have Sailor Holiday. I remember Sailor. She was in the live chat during one of the other interviews as well. Hi, Sailor. She
She's
says,
a content creator and fashion queen.
there you go. Nice to see you again, Sailor. She says, excited for this episode. I'm waiting like a good fan. And we have Aaron's 594 with he just goes, or she, I guess it's a he, Aaron, with yes! Quadruple exclamation marks.
Nice.
All right, have I gone through everybody? Just want to make sure I give a shout out to every fan and friend of Philip Nelson's.
Also, Eve White is on.
Yes, hi Eve.
Eve White is actually married to a very good friend of mine, Chip White. She is a marketing queen, and her husband is host of the podcast Relatively Famous. And his sister is Vanna White from Wheel of Fortune. He's a film producer, worked at VH1, Entertainment, all these places. So I guess the White family is checking us out from Kerrville tonight, and we appreciate you guys being here.
Yeah, hi Eve. And you did mention this podcast, Philip Nelson, a while ago during one of our interviews. I'm very certain of it. But hi Eve, nice to see you. Thanks for joining us from Texas. All right, let's move on, Philip Nelson. And for all of you out there, I love to, for people who are close to me, and I mean, close association and people who I know well, I tend to, when I call out to them, I give the full name. It means that I'm grateful for your friendship and I love you. It's not because I'm trying to be very formal. So when I go Philip Nelson, there's extra love in that.
She's actually, I tell her she has to call me Philip Nelson. I'm just kidding. I always want to be known as Philip Nelson. No, just kidding.
So Philip Nelson, I got some pictures. Let's go to pictures now. And the first one I want to show is of the protagonist of Axicab, and it's Zombie Phil. So let me just get the picky up here. 1 second. So here's a panel. I believe it's a panel from Axicab, and it shows Chauffeur Phil. Zombie Phil.
I am a shameless self-promoter.
I was gonna ask you, why does Zombie Phil, the chauffeur driver, resemble you in so many ways, and has your name as well? How does that feel like, living in your own story?
It is me. It is me. So one of the things I loved in the 1950s when they were doing horror comic books, EC Comics did a good, and like House of Mystery and all these old comic books, they always had like a host, like the Crypt Keeper or House of Secrets had Abel, was it House of Secrets or House of Mystery? But, and so I thought it would be funny and to do Zombie Phil as kind of the host, because this comic book is kind of an anthology concept, double feature, like issue 1 is a double feature with 2 stories. And so what I wanted to do was just have me, shameless self-promotion, as Zombie Phil leading in and closing out each story and saying weird, witty things. So that's kind of the concept. And, it's kind of fun and silly. And like I said, I don't take myself too seriously. And this comic is just over-the-top grindhouse horror and really gruesome deaths and interesting, storylines.
Does a Zombie Phil have your personality too, would you say? Did you and the team decide that it would share some of your personality traits, or very dissimilar to you?
I would say more than similar than dissimilar, because I'm just kind of ADD and over the top and say weird things. So Zombie Phil does too.
Okay, excellent. So with that said, I realized you had a DJ Phil. Is this the same guy who is taking on a DJ persona as well?
Yep, it's Zombie Phil in a new. So basically, the Zombie Phil concept kind of ties into what the story is. So
Okay.
in issue 1, which is it's on Kickstarter right now, and it's running till November 13th, 2025.
Mm.
Is 2 stories. The first story is called Warden's Last Ride. And Warden, it's about a corrupt warden who's done some very shady things and gets in the wrong cab, and the Axicab driver knows who he is and decides he's going to die.
Ah.
And in the second story, it's called In the Air Tonight.
Ooh.
And so what's funny about that one, I love urban legends.
Yeah.
And back in the 80s, Phil Collins had a song called In the Air Tonight. And there's a line that says, "You told me you were drowning. I would not lend a hand." Anyway, an urban legend developed that it was about some teacher that let a kid drown. And so I was like, hey, let's kill a teacher that let a kid drown. So,
Ah.
and that's why it's called In the Air Tonight. And that's why it's DJ Zombie Phil, because it's about the urban legend. And we, I understand copyrights, and so we just used a few little snippets, just enough to prove the point of kind of the urban legend.
Ah.
And so that's kind of the concept there. So the Zombie Phil persona will pivot based on what the story's about, but it's always Zombie Phil.
Okay. Wow, you got me very intrigued now. I might have to buy one of those magazines.
I would love that. And
you have
if I sign it, it makes it worth half price. Anything I sign goes down in value, but
I was
I
gonna
would sign
say.
it for you anyway.
I think we need a sip of something at this point.
All right, Nernie. Cheers. And you know what? I'm going to grab something to show you.
Oh, please.
Because on the Kickstarter, I'm doing something fun. I'll be right back. It'll take me
Okay.
30 seconds.
All right, and to everyone out there, I will quickly take us through a mini tour of Philip's Kickstarter. And he can, give you the spiel of his Kickstarter, but I will show you the site, so don't you worry about a thing. Philip's back.
I'm back. So basically, am I on camera or are you on the Kickstarter?
No, you're on camera.
Okay, so one of in any of the physical levels on Kickstarter, we made fake driver's licenses. So this is the Zombie Phil driver's license that you will get if you support the Kickstarter. And on the back, it says blood type none. He is an organ donor though. And then this is the cabbie's license. It says on the back, it says organ donor. It says organs available upon request. So it's just being silly, but you'll get a Zombie Phil and an Axicab driver's license as part of the Kickstarter if you do one of the physical. If you get the comic books or the one that includes original art, you'll get a driver's license of the Zombie Phil and the cabbie.
Excellent. I will go through the Kickstarter in a second because I want to show some artwork first. And I got questions.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, well, I got, that's why we're here, because I got questions. And if any of you have questions, please put them in the live chat. You know how it works. This is a live stream. So we rant and rave and hope that we're not, going too gaga over everything, but with Axicab you gotta go gaga a little bit because it's such an awesome piece of work, and I want to show some artwork from it. But again, if you do have questions for Philip or Phil,
More Phil puns.
or
Sam
Phil,
was like, he knows that I'm very punny. I can't stop punning. So yes. Kelly Myers noticed that I'm drinking. So yes, Kelly. And these are the cups that were a gift from IR Termite.
Oh, there you go, from Dale. Thanks, Dale.
Yeah.
Where's my cup?
Next time you're in San Antonio, I'll give you a cup. A special souvenir cup to take home to Singapore or wherever your adventures take you.
Where I head to next. I have a question from Kelly. I was gonna ask you anyway, so I'll leave that till later. Kelly, when I will approach the origin or where the material is being produced. That is one of my questions, but I will do the pictures, the artwork first. So let's do that. The first one is the front cover. Okay, here we go. Front cover, front cover. I believe this is the front cover. It says Axicab, a murder machine, stalks the dark streets. Here's the
It
front.
does.
Here's the front cover, and I believe you had a local artist. Well, you know, he's a famed local artist, but local nonetheless. C. Reagan.
Yes. C.
Do the
Reagan he's a fantastic comic book artist. He what I love about C's artwork is I've never really met anyone that shows kinetic energy in a still image like C. You know,
oh.
he really brings a lot of movement to the still image, and he has he has different styles of work that he does, but for this one it was very gritty look, and he really was able to capture the essence that we wanted for Axicab issue 1.
Well, before I show the next pictures, I actually had some questions about how you decided to pick your A team, the people who did the artwork, and that kind of thing, you know, storytelling, because you worked with a collaborative team to get this out of the door, so to speak. So how did you
Yes.
pick your A team? And who are these people, please, besides C?
Well, the C was the key. He really was. C was the key. So I'm rhyming and punning. Sam, I hope you love that. I met him at an art event, and I saw his artwork, and I was just blown away. And he's just so talented, and he's really good at sequential storytelling, which there's people that are good artists, but they can't do sequential art. And so once I saw his style, I knew that it would be perfect for Axicab. So C did the heavy lifting on this book. You know, I came up with the concept. C had ideas. We brainstormed ideas, and then he basically went out and made it. You know, even the titles were all his ideas. In the Air Tonight, and the Warden's Last Ride. And so, he did the heavy lifting on issue 1. Letters were done by a guy named Douglas Dillon, who works with Antarctic Press. He does a lot of lettering for a lot of the famous Antarctic Press comics, like Ninja High School, and I think he does Gold Digger, and he's just he works at Antarctic Press, so he did the letters. I worked with a guy named Lee Duig. Lee Duig is a very, very famous colorist for Marvel. He does like Wolverine, Deadpool, the Star Wars comic books, and he mentored me through a lot of this and helped me kind of get things over the finish line, and and helped me get the deal with Antarctic Press. So one thing I didn't mention was we're kickstarting it, and all the comic is made. It's already at the printer, and it's coming out in comic shops all over the U.S. and maybe all over the world. I'm not sure where it's getting ordered, but it's coming out. Antarctic Press is distributing it. It's already made. It's already done. It's at the printer. So the reason I'm doing this Kickstarter is to fund issue 2. Because my idea is I paid for issue 1 to be made. I've kind of willed it into existence. And then I'm trying to raise enough money on the Kickstarter to do issue 2. And the artist on issue 2, I'm so excited to have him. His name's David Hutchison. He's done some amazing horror comic books. Like one of his originals is called Teether, and it's a creepy, crazy horror book. He also did a really cool one. I think it's called HR Steamcraft. It's like steampunk or HP Steamcraft.
Right.
So like HP Lovecraft meets steampunk.
Right.
And his artwork and he also did Sonic the Hedgehog. So he's just a great artist. He's doing a lot of sketches for me for the Kickstarter. Like
Yeah.
people that kick in the $90 like top tier,
Yeah.
they're going to get an original sketch.
Wow.
That's more than a sketch. In fact, I'm going to go grab one. Hold on.
Okay.
So like here's one of the sketches. So
Right.
this is a piece of
Ooh.
art that he did of the cab driver.
Okay.
And this is going to be one of the giveaways. And what we're doing it is on old comic book backing boards.
Yeah.
And so some of them are yellow and crusty, and
Oh.
it's the grittiness. So it's more than a sketch. This is actually an amazing, painting, drawing
Yeah.
piece of artwork. And so this alone is worth the price of backing the big one, because
Excellent.
he's been sending me work that as he does. Every sketch is going to be different. He's got the cab driver, zombie Phil, various other things that he's doing the artwork of. And we're only doing 20 of these at $89 US.
Okay.
So I think we have like 3 more of these we can sell. So far, as of today, we've raised about $1,500.
Excellent.
My goal on Kickstarter was 500, and the only reason I set it at 500 is because I just want whatever I raise is going towards issue 2.
Yeah.
And sometimes if you set the goal too high and don't hit it, you get nothing.
Yeah.
So I set it at 500, but my internal goal is I wanted to raise between $3,000 and $4,000. I'm spending $3,000 just on printing issue 1.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be a moneymaker unless it just becomes a hit.
Yeah.
But when I went to the Antarctic Press publisher and I was visiting with Joe and Ben Dunn, who own Antarctic Press, they were like, "What's your goal with this comic book?" And I said, "My
Yeah.
goal is to get it out to the world."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Good, because in the comics industry today, if your goal is to get rich, you're gonna be very disappointed." So it's really
Yeah.
just getting it in the hands of people is my goal, and covering as much cost as I can.
I
So
hear you.
anybody that can support it, we have a $10 version. The cheapest one is $10, and that gives you the comic book as a PDF. And then it's like $40, $60, and $90. That's it. I kept it simple because I knew that I needed to be able to manage it. And so many people do
Yeah.
all this crazy stuff. And maybe I'm shooting myself in the foot by keeping it so simple. But, I got to be able to survive it too.
Absolutely. So don't you worry, we'll get to your Kickstarter page in a second. I just want to show the wares a bit more first. More pictures and more chat about the material. And then if hopefully we'll win more hearts who might then put some investment in your project and create some longevity for the project. For me, as a creative person as well, and I hear where you're coming from, is that I would like some longevity to my project. Not just
Yep.
first issue or second issue out. Let's say for me it would be an album or even doing a concert. I might come up with a production that works well, but I'd like to do it again. But if I can only see 2 years in the making, that's not longevity. So let's hope for some longevity, Philip Nelson.
Well, here's the plan. Each issue does truly stand on its own. So if issue 1 is the only one that I do, which I'm doing number 2, but
Yeah.
it stands on its own. But what happens is we go into issue 2, we've got at least a 6-issue story arc that we would like to complete. And so in the issue 1, there's a single panel of the engineer, and you don't really know what he is, but he's like, "Please, I beg you, I have a family."
Yeah.
And it's this guy in a jail cell, and you may have that image in the folder, but the idea is that's the engineer. And so my story arc is Axicab driver's this deranged guy who goes out and brutally kills people that get into his cab. But a true serial killer has cognitive dissonance. And they justify everything they do, and they think they're doing something for the right reason. And so in the Axicab driver, he feels like he's almost like an anti-hero in his mind, where he's taking out people he thinks deserve to be taken out. but he's horrific. He's a killer. He's really bad. But in his mind, he is doing society a service by everybody he takes out. So the backstory that will develop is this engineer, he kidnapped this really brilliant engineer and forces him to build these death traps into the cab by threatening him to do bad things to his daughter. So in this 6-issue arc, if we get to issue 6, you're going to see the Axicab driver and the engineer's story develop. And then we're going to introduce the daughter, and there's some cool things that will happen, which I can't say. I do like to save some surprises, but I do have a 6-issue arc on this story. So like in issue 2, the double feature will be, story 1 will be a death, an Axicab murder story, right?
Okay.
But story 2 will be one called about the engineer, you know, and the backstory. So by issue 2, the second story in the book will start telling you the story arc. But like issue 1 is just over the top 2 stories of death and mayhem.
Right. Got it. Thanks, Philip Nelson. We've got another visitor, probably a friend of yours, Lawson Picasso 7237.
Oh my gosh, Lawson, she is a heavy hitter political figure.
He says
she worked for in the city council office. She's run for county commissioner. She's amazing, and she is one of the nerdiest people I know, and I say that in a very good way. So she loves geek culture and just really cool friend.
Awesome. Thanks, Lawson, for coming by. And the comments are excited to this project come to life. I'm just reading off what I see and can't wait for everyone to be a fan of this complicated character. Philip Nelson.
It is a complicated character. And what's really cool is our end game for this project is it's going to be a movie.
Yes, I was going to get to that. You're jumping the gun very quickly.
Okay,
you can
we'll
tell,
save something for later.
You can
okay,
tell
we'll
that
save
Philip.
For later.
You can tell that Philip Nelson is a very experienced veteran at marketing and sales, and as well as being a creative person. He's one of those. What are they called? Not polymaths. You know, one of those very talented person of mixed skills and expertise. He just bundles it all and gives it to you. Here, it's all ready for you. You don't have to work for this. Oh, really? Thanks, Philip Nelson.
Well, basically, it just means I'm ADD and out of control. That's basically that's the way I say it. I'm ADD and out of control. So, and I don't sleep, so I got to do something.
Well, let me do a little bit of that walking right now for you. I'll have one of those. Thank you very much. So I'll
give you a zombie Phil and a cabbie driver's license. Let's turn it right side up.
Thanks, Philip Nelson. Next picture I want to show you is, I believe it's the splash page. I might be wrong, but it looks like the splash page. And a splash page is usually the first page of the story, and it's usually gives you a summary idea, and it attracts you to the comics. So I think this is the splash page. Philip Nelson, correct me if I'm wrong.
Since I'm a little delayed, which one do you have up? What's on the picture?
It's got Zombie Phil with the taxi at the bottom. And
yeah, that is the opening. That's the opening page, and that's the concept of Zombie Phil, the narrator. It's basically setting the tone for the story.
So I'm just having it up here for everyone to have a look for a second more, since it came up, 60 or 30 seconds a little later than when I displayed, due to the lag in getting information from real time to the other side. And I believe YouTube does a little buffering as well. So please enjoy it while you can, while it's up. Before I go to the next pick. Yeah, and again, if you have any questions, friends of Philip Nelson and fans of Philip Nelson, please put them in the live chat and we will address them. So you know what to do. You're all in the live chat. I don't have to give you directions. Do you have anything to say though, Philip Nelson, about the splash page?
Yeah, and I mentioned it at the very beginning of our talk. The whole idea of the narrator is just to tie things together throughout the
Yeah.
various stories and issues.
Yeah.
And I love the you know what? Since I can't see it, I'm gonna grab. Look, I have the 11 by 17 art right behind me.
Whoa.
Um, so but even the narration is fun. It's like, ladies and gentlemen, and fellow thrill seekers and horror junkies, have we got a tale for you tonight? A tale rooted in urban legend and grown in blood. It's about a wicked late night cab driver and his murderous taxi machine. And anyway, blah blah blah. And he's like, Axicab. So
Yeah.
it's just the narrator. I'm
Yeah.
not. It's a fun way to have a narrator for your story, and it also is shameless self promotion for me.
You
So
know, I can tell all of you love stories, and I love a good story. I love telling stories, but I love listening to good stories. You could kind of keep me in one spot for hours on end if you had good stories to tell me. So I'm quite excited for you as well, Philip Nelson, about Axicab. And I do at this point want to show another picture. And this, I believe, is an interior panel. It consists of multiple panels, so I think the term for this is an interior panel. You know, it's
it
part
is.
of the story already. So you can see.
Which one is it? What's on it?
It's the one with the taxi cab in the middle going E, and the top saying "We will never you mind how that happened." Blah 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 blah. Does that help?
Okay. Let's see. Oh, yeah. It basically, what this goes back to the artist. Is it the one where you see the warden hailing the cab and it's like
Yeah.
and it's screeching
Yeah.
to a stop?
Uh huh.
Okay, so that's what I love about C's artwork is he can bring a still image and add so much action to it. You feel the kinetic energy with his lines and the movement, and it's just really fun. So, yeah, that's
So
an interior.
I was gonna ask you, did your A team bring the style that they're used to working into your project, or did
Oh,
they
yeah.
modify, like change it
No,
up? So
C is such a good artist. I didn't really have to give him. I gave him almost no direction other than brainstorming the stories and things like that.
yeah,
He was so good. He could just go on his own and
yeah.
say, "Hey, what do you think of this?" And I'm like, "I love it." And I never really had any changes for him. I really didn't. He was
So
that good.
you know, the thing about collaborating with other people and they're bringing their strengths to your project is it's so awesome at the end. And then you realize for your next project, you really need the same figures in your A team. Have you
Yes.
considered that if you had to change them out, that this
Yeah,
would
we're going to
have a
change it
different?
up. We're going to have different artists, different writers
Oh, you are?
on every issue. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I want this to be kind of, Zombie Phil ties it together. The cab, the driver, the engineer, the daughter all tie it together. But like issue two's art is going to be different than issue one's art. The writer is going to be different than issue one. And so, that's kind of where we're going with it. I'm just going to have fun because I'm a comic fan.
Yeah.
One of the things, like as a comic collector, every year back in the old days, like Marvel Comics and all that,
Yeah.
they would have an annual. And it would be like you would have 12 issues throughout the year and then an annual, which would be a thicker comic book with like 4 stories in it. And what I love about the annuals is that they had a different artist, different writer, different inker doing every story. So if you're a fan of comic art and writers, in one issue each year, you got to see 8 different people's take on these characters. And so it's really fun. But David Hutchinson is doing issue 2 for sure. And
Yeah.
he may do more than one issue if he wants to. To me, I'm recruiting people because everybody's busy. They have their own projects they work
Yeah.
on. And and so I want to be fair to them, and so we'll just see where it goes.
So, when I look at a creative project and I'm the one who is driving the project, my collaborators bring in their strengths, but it is very apparent that the the stability or the foundation of it is my vision, if you know what I'm
Right.
saying. So you can recognize my my vision. So you'll say, "Oh, that's a Shueh-li Ong project," even though there
Yeah.
are these different people taking different parts that are different from the previous album, or so on and so forth. Do you feel that same way about your project with Axicab, that even though you're changing up the team, that the underlying stability or the connection is Philip Nelson, or is it something else that you
Dude,
feel?
it's an idea I created, and I'm funding, and I am, the guy funding it is usually the glue. It's like your project. You're curating the experience for your fans. That's what you do on your records. And like you said, you're the glue that ties it all together. Different people, different talents, different styles, but you're the glue. And I do agree with you that that's the way it's going to roll. Because it's my project. So
Excellent. I am gonna drop in another comment. It's from Lawson again, and oh, it's the same one. Sorry. I thought I saw different. Oh, here it
we
is.
like Lawson so much, she can
Yeah.
comment. We'll read her comment twice.
Lawson, I'm so sorry. I picked up the wrong one. This is the newer one. Next Halloween, do you have any plans to dress up as Phil the narrator? Because that would be the best epic meta costume ever.
Well, I will show you. I'm just going to pull this piece of art out. And you know
I
what? I
think at the
probably
next,
should. And
yeah.
it won't be that difficult because basically you'll see it's just a dude in a plaid shirt and glasses with zombie skin. And
Yeah.
so that won't be that. I mean, I'll have to do some prosthetic makeup, but I think I should. Next Halloween, I'm going ahead and making the commitment, especially after Axicab's out. Zombie Phil will be at the Halloween party.
There you go. And that was the splash page that I had displayed earlier on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if there are any other comments to bring into our chat. Aaron says, "I think everyone should just dress up as Zombie Phil and follow him around."
And just yell more brains. We'll do the San Antonio zombie walk and have 20 zombie fills.
Well, I know
Or
where
it'll
I'm
just be
gonna.
one because
I know where I'm gonna be next Halloween.
zombie Shelly.
I'm gonna be in San Antonio next Halloween.
Come on, you're invited. You're on the VIP list.
Thank you.
And I
All
have
right.
friends that do special effects makeup. So
Yeah.
we could have a zombie prep party at Nelco
Yeah.
Comics and we could all
You
get our
know-
zombie crusty skin on.
Can I share something with you and the general public? I've never been in a Halloween party or dressed up in any costume or whatsoever, or been to any trick or treat.
Well, I'll make sure you have, if you want to be here for Halloween, you're on the VIP list.
Thanks.
We throw an epic party here at the office, and
Awesome.
here at Nelco, we did it was both floors, two of the floors of the building were all party about a week or two ago, so it was fun.
There you go. Thanks for the invite. Anyway, Halloween parties are only fun when you're partying with a group of people you can vibe with. So that could be the reason why I haven't found my peeps yet.
Well, you found them. Get your booty to San Antonio and join us.
Thanks, Philip Nelson. So I've got the next picture up, and I believe it's your commission artwork. You showed one of them earlier on, the one with the driver. That one, yes. Thank you. And this is the one you took of two original artwork pieces.
So those two, that's just samples. So,
Okay.
that's one of Zombie Phil
Yeah.
and one of the cab driver, a different cab driver shot. So every piece of art for a Kickstarter backer is going to be different. It's not just like we're going to draw the same picture 20 times and everybody gets a version of the same picture. David Hutchinson is doing some really, really cool commissions And I originally just said, let's do a sketch. And then he delivers this. I was like, dude, that's way more than a sketch. He goes, I
Yeah.
know, I have some red ink. I want to use more red ink. So I was like, okay, go for it. Do whatever you want.
Wow, that's just too cool.
It's fun.
It's a master at work. Yeah, thank you. So everyone out there, just to give you a sample of what some of the commission artwork could look like, and they're all going to be different according to Philip Nelson. So if you want one right now, you know what to do. But if you have questions as well, please put them in the live chat so I can spring them across to our live chat itself and respond to the questions. You know what to do. The next picture I want to show that Philip shared with me is I call it a sketch. This one I call a sketch. And it's
that one's the preliminary. So when C was coming up with the look of these characters,
right.
Those were preliminary sketches. In fact, this is another example. Like when he was working on the look for the cab driver, he's like, okay, will he look like this?
Yeah, that's the one I've got on display right now.
So,
the preliminary sketch.
Those are just concepts, and okay, I'll show you one little secret. This is a sketch that's potentially the daughter.
Right. Oh, all right.
That's potentially the daughter, and she may be a pretty bad dude. So FYI.
She's gonna get very cold during winter.
Well, that's the summer. That's her summer outfit. In San Antonio, you can wear that in winter in San Antonio.
Oh, you can? All right.
Oh yeah.
All right. All right, so everybody, here is a prelim sketch. I do have a query from our good friend Sam. He says, as Kickstarter won't sell to foreigners because he lives in Australia.
And that's me. That's because I'm very lazy, Sam. And so what happened is I wanted to do a worldwide Kickstarter, but the shipping to other countries right now is like, I can't even budget it. And so I said, I'm just going to do the Kickstarter in the US, but Sam, if you reach out to me, I'm going to send you a free copy, Sam, because you waited so long for your t-shirt.
There you go. Isn't that marvelous?
I mean, you know how much it costs to ship something to Australia? It's crazy. But Sam's worth it. So Sam, I'm going to send you a free copy. You'll just have to remind me of your address and I'll send you one.
Yeah, I know. You know what I do, and I'm going to divulge this on this general public stream, is that instead of mailing it from the US, when I'm back in Singapore, I mail it from here.
I'll give it to Shelly. I'll send it to you in the US, and then you can give it to Sam.
Yeah, it's so much less that it's not funny. I would make the effort to actually bring it back here. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about the Postal Service. I don't want to get in trouble with nobody.
I'll get in trouble with everybody, unfortunately.
I try to stay clear of trouble.
So let me go ahead and give another sales pitch for the Kickstarter.
All right. Okay.
So there's two ways you can get these comic books. One is through my Kickstarter, and that means you're paying more for it on Kickstarter. Because the comic book is going to be $4.99 at the comic book stores. There's two covers. I don't know if you have the image of the two covers together. So we have a main cover, which is the one you showed, that it's the double feature and Murder Machine stalks the dark streets. But there's another one that is a tribute to RoboCop. And we have a variant cover done by David Hutchinson, who's doing all these sketches.
Right.
And so what's cool is I love 80s movies, and so I loved RoboCop. So we're like, let's do a RoboCop. Lee Duig, the colorist from Marvel Comics, is the one that suggested that. So if you remember the RoboCop movie poster where there's the police car and he's stepping out of it. So instead we have the cab with the Axicab driver stepping out, and there's all these heads hanging on chains and all this stuff. And that's the variant cover, and they're going to be pretty rare. And those are going to be $10 each at the comic book stores.
Okay.
But so on the Kickstarter, and this is, I'm just wanting people to help me fund this. So you
Yeah.
really are kicking in to fund it if you do the Kickstarter, because you're paying a little bit of a higher price because I need it. And so I'm shameless, and but you also get some bonuses like the driver's licenses, the zombie Phil and the cab driver's licenses, and then the sketches and things like that at those levels. And then,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to have, like, there's a level that I'll sign all the books, and David Hutchinson's going to sign the cover he did. And so you'll get signed books at one of the levels. One is PDF only. The second level is just the comic books. The third level is signed versions, and then the fourth level includes the artwork, and that's
Okay.
like $90. And
Also,
so, I really would appreciate anybody helping support this, because it's expensive to make a comic book.
yeah.
I mean, my printing costs alone on the comic book are around $3,000.
Mm,
So that doesn't even include the artwork and all the work that goes in to make it.
yeah.
I'm not going to make money on this. My
Yeah.
goal is to strictly cover my costs, pay the artist, pay the letterer, pay for printing, things like that, and just keep this dream alive. So anybody that can afford to do it, and I know everybody's tight right now, the economy's kind of nuts. So, if you can't support it, just share it, you
Yeah.
know. But if you
I
can
hear you.
support it, please log into Axicab on Kickstarter and not only support it, but also share it as well. And I've had a lot of my friends that are watching tonight, that I've seen them sharing it, and I really do appreciate it. I have really good friends,
So,
including you, Shueh-li. You're
thank you.
amazing.
I was
You help me
gonna.
reach a global audience.
I'm.
You have fans around the globe, and
I
thanks to
try
you,
my
they're going to know
best.
about Axicab.
I try my best, Philip Nelson, because you're a good friend of mine, and good friends do good things for each other. We help each other.
And
Sorry.
I always have to respect the lady who taught me to attempt to play the theremin. You didn't teach me to play the theremin. You taught me at least how to make sound come out of the theremin.
Well, I hope I'll be able to teach you how to play a simple melody soon. That would be
I would
good.
love to be able, even if I could I did Mary Had a Little Lamb. You did show me Mary Had a Little, and that's all I could do. And it wasn't pretty even at that. And you do it, it sounds amazing. I do it, and it sounds like a 5-year-old, with a saw, you know.
Gotta start somewhere, Philip Nelson.
That's right.
You can try playing a theremin as zombie Phil. That
I'll
would
do
be
it.
an
You know
interesting.
what?
Yeah.
You know what? Here's my commitment to you. When
All
this
right.
movie's made,
Yeah.
I think we need Shueh-li to do a theremin song for the movie.
That would be fun.
Now
It
you
would be
can do
my
something
pleasure.
real interesting and ethereal, and we have to have you have to have one of your songs in the movie, or you
And
have
I
to write one for the Axicab.
and if you do like, a killer scene, like literally a killing scene, killer scene, I could put in some like fuzz distortion in there for the.
Dude, I love a good. We'll get. Do you know guitar pedals very well?
Yeah, I do, of course. I use a
Okay,
lot of
I
them.
have a distortion pedal that is my all-time favorite distortion pedal.
Oh, okay.
It's
That's
called the Proco Turbo Rat. Have you ever heard
whoa.
of that one?
I don't think I'm familiar with it.
The Proco Turbo Rat. It does nothing but make your guitar sound nasty. And I would
Okay.
be interested to see what a theremin through a Proco Turbo Rat would
Yeah.
sound like.
That means I need to visit you again soon.
I'll bust out my Turbo Rat, and maybe you can take it on the road and use it if
There
you
you
want to
go.
do a gritty, aggressive theremin show.
There you go. Thanks, Philip Nelson. Actually, a young friend of mine who lives in Dallas Fort Worth said my last album sounds like I could do like a theremin core kind of performance. It's kind of like uh, not heavy metal, but kind of like heavy metal plus screamo. I don't know
Dude,
how else to
Screamo
explain.
Theremin. You're creating a new genre here tonight on Music and Chat with Shueh-li Ong.
Thanks, Philip Nelson. So since you talk so much about Kickstarter, I thought I'll just jump to your Kickstarter first and then
Okay.
proceed with more of the questions that I have for you, which I think the viewers and your fans and your friends would like to have answers to. And again, everyone, if you have questions and you want answers, please put them in the live chat. You know what to do. I'm just making sure that you're reminded that you can put questions in the live chat, and I will notice them and I will send them across to our live stream. So let's look at Philip Nelson's Kickstarter page first. And there you go. I've got the front page and it says Axicab. Number 1, blood soaked right into the indie horror comics, y'all.
You know, I tend to be sensational in my writing.
Oh, me too. I love sensational. I have to dial it back sometimes and go, well, it's a little over the top, but I like it, so.
I mean, even if you read the description, and you don't have my video, do you? Can you show the trailer?
Yeah, I can. I'm ready to do it right now. So this is one of 2 trailers that Philip's got. And it's I call it the horizontal one because there's a vertical one.
Yeah.
And he's really smart, a smart marketing man. He made sure there was a proper accent for each side of the Atlantic. He has the American accent. He's one with the mildly British accent, so that in case you're more in tune with one or the other, you can actually enjoy the trailer. So here's the one for us.
Before you show it, thank you for trying to make me sound really smart, but that's really not what happened.
Oh, it's not?
Here's what happened.
Okay.
I decided I needed a trailer for Kickstarter.
Right.
And I gave myself a 2-hour window to make the trailer.
Oh, okay.
And so I went on Fiverr and I hired multiple people to do the voiceover. And I had one with the British accent, one that was, the deep voice. And I just said, whichever one comes in first, that's where I'm going to edit the trailer. And then the first 2 to provide their voices were those 2. Oh. And so, I would like people to think I'm brilliant, but really I'm just lazy.
What?
And I don't have a lot of patience. And that is the truth. I just said, okay, the first one to come in is the horizontal one. And then I needed a vertical one second. And so I used the second one, the British guy, as the vertical one, because we also are putting it on Instagram and some of the vertical sites.
Yeah.
And so so I basically I had, and also the music. You notice the music was different in the 2.
Yeah, I noticed.
What I decided to do is in the deep American voice, I used death metal kind of and then on the British one, with the I used more of an 80s Stranger Things kind of feeling soundtrack. Yeah. So it was more like Escape from New York, synthesizer-y, so the music is different. And so, and maybe there is strategy behind it, but most of it is me being like ADD. And I just said, I really started a timer and I said, okay, I'm going to work on this for 2 hours and then move on to what I need to do. And whatever I have at the end of 2 hours, that's what I'm going with.
That's a smart approach, actually. I noticed myself doing somewhat similar as well, because, the old idea that you can keep on refining things, there needs to be an end. So a proper planned project has time frames, which I think that's real. So I work that way as well. I give myself a time frame, and I have to come up with something by then. And I know myself well enough to know how long I take to get things done. So by that time, I go, you kind of go, okay, good.
I learned this skill in high school, right? Because I always would procrastinate in writing my term papers. So basically, I learned to work under pressure because I'm doing it the night before it's due. Oh. And so I've taken that into my professional career where I work really well under pressure. Yeah. And I've had some editors like, dude, I love this trailer. The pacing's really good. I was like, well, dude, I said it was not brilliantly thought out. It was, here's 2 hours and this is what I can do in 2 hours. And I edit it and it was done, and I launched the Kickstarter.
But I think what I also notice is that as we get more experience in our work, we know what are the right appropriate steps to take to get what we want at the end. And I think
That is true.
timing is very crucial in creative work that's time based like video, a song. I tell people you can't experience a song if you don't have time to hear it, because you need to experience it based on giving it the time to play the song, or time to watch the movie, or time to watch the trailer, that kind of situation.
Right.
And that's when timing is so crucial. When do you feel like accelerating the pulse, let's say, because you can feel a person breathing at 60 beats per minute, that kind of situation, but you want to raise the pulse because you want to create excitement. So what do you do? So it's kind of like an underlying kind of bit of action that you feel as you put that into your trailer or your song or your movie or whatever that is. And so you have an idea how it should go already, even before you get started. So
Well,
instinctively,
you're way more intelligent than I am. That's what I'm learning, because you actually think about those things. I don't even know what beats per minute any of this was. Mine is raw, Philip, here's what I'm going to do, and I just do it. You actually are way more strategic and thoughtful in how you approach things. I am not.
I think
I
I speak.
am as chaotic as I'm the opposite of you. I'm just chaos, and I just do what I want to do.
But I think that because you have the experience in that you
It's
have
true.
the experiential side,
That's
after
true.
all these years or decades, if I may say so, from
That's true.
childhood
It is
to
true. I've done video for 30 years,
So it's
it
become
becomes
instinctive.
it's like playing guitar. You don't. It's muscle memory.
Yeah.
You just get in there and like when I tried to play the theremin, I'm literally trying to do 3D space of where's my hand, and you just get up there and you play it because you feel where that note is, and so you can make it sound great. So yeah, but there was very little strategy behind my editing on this. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. It was 1 o'clock in the morning, and I wanted to be done launching the Kickstarter by 3. And so I said, here's a 2-hour window, and that's what I made. So that's a good setup to roll the trailer.
Yeah, well, here we go. And always should say you did a great job. So everyone, this is the Axicab trailer, the horizontal Americanized one. Here we go.
Coming this fall, it's Axicab. A murder machine stalks the dark streets, and death rides shotgun. The meter's running, and death is coming for anyone who steps inside. Axicab #1 isn't just a comic. It's a double feature descent into madness, narrated by your undead host, Zombie Phil. 2 stories, 2 fares, both doomed the moment they open that cab door. Every passenger is guilty. Every ride ends in blood. And the cab, it never stops. It's grindhouse horror welded to psychological revenge. Each page soaked in gasoline, gore, and guilt. If you like Creepshow, Sin City, or Tales from the Crypt, this ride is for you. So buckle up, lock your doors, and pray you don't see that flickering Axie sign next time you're on a darkened street. Axicab #1. The meter's running. Back it now before it picks you up.
There you go. End of
There we go.
trailer. Would you like me to show them the vertical one too?
You know what? Why not? I mean, it'll be cut off, but let's do it.
Let's do it.
I edited the horizontal trailer, and I edit in DaVinci Resolve, and I love Resolve. It's free editor, it's amazing, it's easy to use, and it has some pretty powerful tools in it. And so what I did is I basically took the edit of the vertical one, or the horizontal video, threw in the second voiceover of the music, and then I created another timeline that was vertical,
Yeah.
And then what I did is I would go in and I would reframe things
Yeah.
to just make it look appropriate on the vertical. So I wanted
Absolutely.
them to be similar but different. So you know,
Understand.
you'll see that the framing is it works. So here we go.
Okay.
Let's play a
Here
vertical
we
video.
go.
Coming this fall, it's Axicab. A murder machine stalks the dark streets, and death rides shotgun. The meter's running, and death is coming for anyone who steps inside. Axicab Issue 1 isn't just a comic. It's a double-feature descent into madness. Narrated by your undead host, Zombie Phil. 2 stories, 2 fares, both doomed the moment they open that cab door. Every passenger is guilty. Every ride ends in blood. And the cab, it never stops. It's grindhouse horror welded to psychological revenge, each page soaked in gasoline, gore, and guilt. If you like Creepshow, Sin City, or Tales from the Crypt, this ride's for you. So buckle up, lock the doors, and pray you don't see that flickering Axie sign next time you're on a darkened street. Axicab Issue 1. The meter's running. Back it now, before it picks you up.
So
There we go.
Yeah, it's
So
coming
one thing
to
that
an
would
end.
be helpful,
Yeah.
one thing that would be helpful, I would like anybody that's on, if they put in the comments which one they liked better, which voice, which music. You know, it's already too late. They're already released, but I'm just curious, you know, did you like the British voice with the 80s John Carpenter-y feel of the music, or did you like the deep voice horizontal with the metal-y music? And, you know, it'd be
It-
nice to just go back and look at that.
Yeah, I'll be curious too, because it certainly incites different emotions out of me. You know, the more 80s synth kind of stuff gives me kind of it makes me feel more like here's an adventure into something that is unknown, because, you know, kind of sci-fi-ish. Whereas
Yeah.
the metal, I'm sensing the blood and gore stuff.
Yeah.
For
It's
me,
interesting that you say that, because I thought the same thing. One is more, makes you feel it's more of a story. The other one is just aggressive.
yeah. Yeah, for me, yeah. So we got
That's cool.
we got one response from Dale about it. He says that's a hot one. I honestly like both. And Peter, I like the Carpenter tone best. Both were good. Sam, I like British one as I like 2000 AD. Haha.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, Sam, you just became my best friend. 2000 AD is one of the greatest comic books ever made. I love Judge Dredd. Is
Yeah.
that what he was talking about? 2000 AD, the comic book?
I think so. Sam, if you'd like to
Dude,
respond to
I
that
am a
question.
huge 2000 AD fan.
Don't I have some cool friends?
You do.
And
So I hate to say this. I can't. I have to go somewhere in a minute.
okay.
So I have to wrap up kind of soon. I'm
Yeah,
sorry to
okay.
do
Can
this to
we
you.
let's wrap up in 5 minutes if that's okay with you?
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so let's bring us back to this chat. I just have a few questions. There is a movie poster. Speaking of Peter, I'm pronouncing it Leverman. Is that correct?
Yes.
Leverman. Okay, so there's a movie. And let me just show that poster really quickly. And my question is, you had previously mentioned that you worked with Peter, and that there might be a movie coming up at the right time. Is this like a notion that this might happen, or is this poster just in preparation for should it happen?
I want this to happen.
Okay.
And so it's not just throwing out craziness. I'm actually having real discussions. But, you know, I don't have any deals for it yet. You know, we
Yeah.
got to get an audience. We've got to get the books out. There's a
Yeah.
lot to do. But my entire plan from the beginning was this to be a movie.
Okay.
When I came up with the idea years ago, it was for a movie.
Excellent.
And so when you do the comic book, you're basically creating an audience, you're creating storyboards, you're creating characters, you're testing things out so that when you do a movie, it will be dialed in. So yeah, that's the arc. That's the trajectory we're on, is for a movie.
Right. So of course, you tend to think about the impact that your work, especially when it's creative, on society or your community, the demographic that you think would be interested in your work. So what would you hope to have Axicab being remembered for? What would you like your community to think of Axicab, let's say, decades to come?
Okay, I think that Axicab will be remembered as a project that had no positive benefit on society because it's about a deranged cab driver who kills people in gruesome ways and kidnaps an engineer. But it will be fun, because I think that we live in a world now that is so serious. We can't disagree with anyone. We're demonized. And I think that people want an escape right now that's just fun. And it doesn't have to be an Oscar-winning project. It doesn't have to be some high, intelligence, big thought, concept. It can just be fun. And I think that so many people are losing that idea where let's just do something that's an escape, that's fun, that's irreverent, and just and then you leave and you go on with your life. It doesn't bog you down when you leave. Like a lot of the modern horror sticks with you and makes you feel creeped out for days. Like the movie Hostel. That movie is so realistic and horrible. It makes you have a bad day the next day. I don't want this to make you have a bad day. I want you to just go watch it and say, wow, that was a roller coaster ride. That was fun. Hey, where are we going to dinner? Those type of projects have a place. And I think there needs to be more of this kind of stuff where it's just a fun escape. It's over the top. It's a little crazy. And then you go about your life when you finished it.
Excellent. I got 2 questions left, and it's about content and potential new characters. Will Axicab or will Zombie Phil ever have a sidekick like Batman and Robin?
Zombie Phil, there are 0 plans for Zombie Phil to have a sidekick because he's just a narrator.
Okay.
That's all he is. He's a narrator.
But he could have an assistant producer or something, someone like that.
Maybe that could happen. Maybe it will. We'll see. Who asked that question?
And my question.
Oh, do you want to be the sidekick?
I want to be a sidekick. Nah.
This girl gets into the cab carrying a theremin. We may have to add that in. That may have to work it in, but the Axicab driver can't kill you. You're a good, nice person, so you get to survive. So, maybe you get in the cab and share a cab with somebody who gets killed, and then you get out and you're all scared and you run away with your theremin.
There you go.
And we'll actually get the Moog in there, or Moog. We'll have to get the logo in there and give them some love too.
There you go. And again about content, will Zombie Phil ever own will Axicab ever end up being a fleet or a business?
Let's hope not. Let's hope not. We do not want this is totally fiction, Now, if it does take off, I did have an idea of trying to go get one of those old cabs and then send it around to comic conventions. You see the saws coming out of it. At comic conventions they have the movie cars and things like that. That could be fun.
I think it'll be fun riding around San Antonio in a Zombie Phil Axicab.
I do crazy stuff. I buy weird things, and I could totally see me going to find one of these old cars and painting it to look like the Axicab. I could 100% see that happening.
Okay.
If we make it to issue 6, and it's actually successful, then I will go buy one of those cars and turn it into the Axicab. I will do it.
There you go.
And I'm going to get Dale Bracey, IR Termite, to help me do it.
There you go. Famous last words from Philip Nelson. With that said,
I
it's
volunteered him for another project.
sorry, Dale. So, with those words said, we want to thank Philip Nelson for spending time with us, and we've totally and utterly enjoyed having you on the live stream, of course, and we always love to have you back, and we wish you well with the project, with Axicab, and we're very excited. All of us, your friends and your fans are excited, and we want to cheer you on with an applause. and some gestures like hearts and will this happen? Here we go.
Cheers to everyone. Clink.
And cheers, everybody. Viewers, you have been awesome too. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this interview with Philip Nelson, and please come back when Philip comes back, or even if he's not back, if you like what I'm doing, please come back and join me in the future. With that said, I want to wish Philip Nelson well, and all of you as well. Please stay well, stay safe, and be good to each other. And with that, I'm gonna say goodbye. So goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, Philip Nelson. I won't keep you back, Philip Nelson. You can go off and do your stuff, and I'll stay in touch with you via Messenger and the usual stuff. So bye, everybody. Here's the outro.
See y'all later.